for them. Good for them. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. Good for them. I'm going to read this one more time. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, NLT. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have remained faithful. And now the prize awaits me, the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give me on the day of his return. And the prize is not just for me, but for all who eagerly look forward to his appearing. Beautiful. And that reminds me of the Apocrypha, of how he was taller than the rest. That's going into the crowning ceremony as well. Now, let me get that, since we're going into the crown. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 23. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. Know ye not they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. That's right, everybody. If you're running, only one can get the prize. Only one can get the prize. I'll read this in the NLT. It says, don't you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. Yeah, run like you mean it. Fight like you mean it. Run like your life depends on it. Come on, man. Verse 25, and every man that striveth for the masteries is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And he was using an example of how they played the games back then. Talking about those Olympians, those ancient Olympians, those ancient mighty men that were involved in the games and the Olympics and those things. In order for them to get the victory and to be called champions, they had to do certain things in the flesh to get on a level. So they had to exercise very hard. They had to eat right. They had to abstain from probably pleasures, sexual pleasures. They had to go the extra mile. They had to get up really early in the morning to train. That ain't easy, man. Nobody likes getting up in the morning to train. But they did all of that for a corruptible crown. Now we're doing all of that for an incorruptible crown, which is a spiritual reward. Because right now we're laying up our treasures in heavens, pursuant to Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 on down. That's what we're doing. Because we're not putting stock into this world. This world's done. 2nd Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's right. Alright, man. So, verse 26. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. So fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Yeah, you're just doing it for no reason. You're going through the motions. Come on, man. So if you're running certainly in this truth, that means you're going to be on fire, no matter what. Be instant in season, out of season. The reason why you're battling the elements and going outside, because you want that spot, you want that crown. You want to win. Because we're winners, we're Israelites, we're winners. We're winners, we're not losers, we're not bums. We're winners. Okay, we're winners. So I'm going to read it one more time. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Right. You have to have a purpose. Kind of reminds me of how it says obedience is better than sacrifice. That's what Samuel told King Saul when he didn't want to listen to the Lord's instructions, man. You know, your sacrifice is in vain. What are you really doing this for? You know, the superstars, they're really obedient. The top guys, they're the ones that are obedient. They stick to a program. They do whatever it takes. One guy comes to mind, one guy that comes to mind is Kobe Bryant, man, even though he's dead now. Man, that guy tapped into everything to make sure his game was on a high level. That guy even tapped into the left-hand side. That's why they call him Black Mamba. Bro, that guy did everything. He had a 666 workout. That's insane, man. Film, train, weights. Film, train, weights. Play ball. That's it. And he started up from dawn. Dusk till dawn. Dusk till dawn. That's how he did it. That's crazy, man. But yeah, I think of Kobe and I think of LeBron. But that's how we gotta be while being in this truth. You gotta be on fire. Hey, that's why the Lord said, you know, I'd rather have you hot or cold, but I don't want you lukewarm. You gotta be on fire, especially if you're in this truth. You gotta be on fire. You gotta be hot. You gotta be as hot as a kettle. That means you gotta do videos. Brothers shouldn't have to motivate you to do videos or to do lessons. Hey brother, why did you do your videos today? Hey brother, how come you're not coming out? Come on, man. It shouldn't be like that all the time. Yeah, you know, once in a while we need a pick-me-up, a pep talk, but it shouldn't be like that every single time. You gotta be hot. You know, if you live with a brother too, or somebody that's in the truth, you know, you can go to them privately and ask them, hey brother, is there anything that I'm lacking? I do that. And I get scolded too, and I get rebuked. But the scripture says open rebuke is better than secret love. You got to take the rebuke. Accept it. That's it. But anyways, let me go on, man. Verse 27, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. And in the NLT at the very end, it says disqualified. I'll read the 27th verse in the NLT. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. That's true, because everybody runs a race, but not everybody's going to finish the race. A good example of that, well, it's a good example, but I would call it more of like a mock trial of like the kingdom of heaven, going into the account of what Moses went through. When he took the credit for from allowing the water to come out the rock, you know, he took glory away from the Lord, and that got him disqualified. That got Aaron disqualified too. I think, who was it? I think it was Caleb and Joshua were the only ones that were able to get into the promised land. But yeah, that was a mock trial for the kingdom of heaven. And Moses and Aaron were great men. At that time, Moses was actually the greatest man on the earth. When you really think about it, when you go into the scriptures, when you go into detail. So even he got disqualified. But on this go around, Moses ain't gonna get disqualified. He's not gonna get disqualified. We know that. Not easy, man. It's not easy running this race. Not easy. Okay. So let's see, what else do we got? Let's go back into Revelation 19. Let's switch back. This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 14. This is where we started off in the beginning. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Yeah, going into the angels. If you want to get a better idea of how the angels are, just simply go into Ezekiel, the first chapter. Now, before I go back to this, I forgot, because I stated it and quoted it many times. He was taller than the rest. I want to get that in the Apocrypha. Taller. Yeah, so here it is. This is 2nd Esdras chapter. I'm going to start at verse 41. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So yes, there is going to be a crowning. But you got to fight the good fight. You got to stay faithful. And you got to go through these trials, and you got to overcome. And we read about that in Revelation, the 2nd chapter. If you overcome, the Lord is going to give you all these great things. You're going to rule the nations with a rod of iron. And that comes with the crown that he's going to place on your head. And that crown is custom made to fit you. A perfect fitting. And nobody else can wear your crown or take it away. Why? Because it's not corruptible. It's incorruptible. That's why. And you worked for it. You see, in the kingdom of heaven, man, we're going to eat and drink spiritually and physically to our heart's content. And we're going to have enough to satisfy ourselves. You know, we're not going to be envious of another person's glory. Each person is going to be satisfied with their glory. I can't fathom that. All my life, I've been seeing envious people, jealous people. All my life, I've been seeing people not being satisfied. Even myself at one point, not satisfied. That's going to be over, man. When you're satisfied, man, you're going to have true peace. And that goes back to Hebrews the 8th chapter. How the laws will be written in our inward parts. Going into the second covenant. Which the second covenant isn't here yet. That's all going to take place, man. That's when you're going to be fulfilled. When the laws are written in your inward parts and you're made perfect and you get new bodies, man. And you have to get new bodies if you want the word to be in you, man. You do. Because this word is perfect. The bodies we have, it isn't perfect. And that's why we got to keep going back and forth to the scriptures, because of this flesh, man. And that's why everybody's dissatisfied out here, man. Because they can't obtain the word sometimes. It's not easy. It's not easy. Verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal. Yeah, that's right. They put off the carnal man. You know, sometimes, we're in the flesh too. Sometimes you may get carnal. Sometimes. The Spirit of the Lord is not always going to be on you 100%. It's impossible, man. Because if it was, you would never fucking go off. I really believe that sometimes. Sometimes, in certain situations. But sometimes you're not going to be in the Spirit, and it feels bad. But that's why you got to do certain things to get in the Spirit. You got to pray and fast. Especially pray. You got to pray for specific things, man. The way you should be praying is in the Hebrew. Those things help you to keep off the mortal clothing as well. Anyways, I'll read it again. He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms. That's right. They put on the immortal clothing, the eternal truth, the Word. They were in the Spirit. They focused on the Spirit man. And they confessed the name of Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. Because this life is about a confession. Bringing forth a confession and also repenting to Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. You weren't brought over to America on cargo slave ships. You didn't get your land stolen from you over here, Gad and Reuben and all the indigenous tribes. Because the Lord hates you. It's to teach you a lesson. It's to punish you. Alright? That's in Baruch the 4th chapter again. Alright, I'm going to move on. So, verse 46, Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, man, you gotta. Yeah, and that's what's gonna happen. The elect is going to get crowned, and it's going to be beautiful. And Yahushua is going to be proud of us. Yahweh Bashem Yeshua is going to be proud of us. Now this is Revelation chapter 19, verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, with white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of the heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, and small and great. True. And that shows you how much bodies are going to drop. Shows you how many bodies are going to drop in that day. It's telling you the Lord is going to do a lot of killing. And that's him preparing a feast for these different birds. These birds are going to feast upon the flesh of you people out here. When that destruction, really after that destruction takes place, but because then you're going to have dead bodies. The Lord, he's getting these birds of prey ready to eat you.